Yeah, I remember when I was in that pageant, not in the pageant, I was escorting the pageant. They had the little intro song when the girls would walk down. And they would be like, "Hi, my name is so and so and so and so, and I am the proud daughter of so and so and so and so and so. And one word I would use to describe myself is fabulous." I remember Todd fucked that shit up because I hit some dumbass word with him, and this didn't come back. It ain't one. But anyways, who cares about that? What's up, Facebook Live? I'm back, and I'm recording a podcast. And hey, it's the big motherfucking baby. And I'm back, and I'm yelling. Let's move this microphone back a little bit. I'm sorry, microphone. I ain't got to talk that loud. But yeah, I'm back recording another podcast. This is wow, 2 weeks in a row that I'm recording on the same day. Let's see if we can make this consistent, right? Consistency is kills. So I'm looking to do this every Thursday, evening-ish around about this time. I went long last week. Jesus Christ, an hour and a half. I'm not trying to go that long, but hey, never mind. So I got some NBA highlights on in the background because I gotta have something going on while I'm doing this. I'm not watching any games this week. It's All-Star weekend, but more importantly for the couples, it's Valentine's Day. What are you doing for your boo for Valentine's Day? If you don't have a boo, don't worry. On Valentine's Day, nah, for real. Valentine's Day, yeah, it's tomorrow, the 14th. Today is the 13th as I'm recording. Let me see, it's 8 o'clock here, so it's still 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So it's still the 13th. But yeah, it's Valentine's Day coming up. And I have some thoughts on Valentine's Day. For one, look here. Society, America, whoever the hell came up with this holiday, don't tell me that I got to tell my woman that I love her and I appreciate her on this day. And look, I understand participating in the holiday just because you may not want to deal with the bullshit that comes with it and the arguments. And maybe you started the relationship with somebody who was into these holidays and you just did it because you thought that was the right thing to do. But let it be known, hey, look, man, I don't celebrate all these traditional holidays. It's just people trying to take my damn money. Excuse me. I can show you that I love you and care about you all throughout the year. It ain't got to be Valentine's Day, your birthday, because a great friend of mine, Wayne, shout out to Wayne, talks about what the fuck did you do on your birthday? What do you do? What do we do to deserve a damn gift on our birthday? We didn't do shit. Now, our parents deserve something because they did all the work. We just popped out of a damn pussy and we want a gift. Ain't that a motherfucker? But I get it. We have these different holidays just to remind us how much we care about people. But the more important thing is don't be confined to these holidays. Make sure the people in your life, you show them that you care about them regularly and often. Like Valentine's Day should be every day, right? No, absolutely not. It's not going to be every day with me. My time is me letting you know that I care. But y'all get it. And for you single people, don't feel bad because you buy yourself on Valentine's Day. Who gives a shit? You buy yourself every other motherfucking day. So if you buy yourself on Tuesday, don't it's Friday, it's Valentine's Day. I got to feel bad about being alone because don't nobody want me. Didn't nobody want you yesterday. It's okay. Just go to the bar because I promise you, they're going to be out there feeling the same way you feeling. And maybe you can, get something off the scrap heap. I'm part of the scrap heap, by the way. That takes me to a post that I read today. I actually put it on my story. It talks about if she's pretty and single, then like she's the problem. You know what? Actually, I have a phone right here, so I can just hop on Instagram and read it to you verbatim. I don't know why I do stuff like this. Like I just can't read stuff to you. Let's see. Let's see. If she look good as single, she's the problem. Probably. Nah. So I think it's interesting because you say that, and people ask the questions. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Why are you not with anybody? Maybe you're crazy. Maybe you don't have your shit together. Maybe you don't know what you want. We assign so much to happiness with like physical appearance and outer beauty, and it's way deeper than that. Like just because you look good with somebody doesn't mean you have a great personality. Doesn't mean you have the ability to connect with people. Just because you got your career together and it look good, maybe you don't have great interpersonal skills. Maybe you don't go around people to actually have the opportunity to allow people to get to know you. Like, there's so many different reasons, but to say, oh, she look good and she's single, she's the problem. No, that's not necessarily true. And to you good looking people, and this applies to men and women, there's attractive men in the world. Hell, look at me. But not attractive men and women in the world. So if you're looking good and you're by yourself, definitely take a look at yourself and see what the problem is. But once you realize what the problem is, just live through it. And hell, everybody ain't meant to be with somebody. And it's okay. Just be happy in your skin and be happy in your situation. And as long as you continue to do that, you should be fine. But I'm 28, so I don't really know nothing. So I just be saying all this stuff to try to give people hope and all of that stuff because I mean it. And I feel that way. But again, what the hell do I know? I'm just a big motherfucking baby. Sorry, I was supposed to watch my mouth for Facebook, but fuck that shit. What else we got? Hey, everything ain't the government. Now, there are a lot of things that happen to us in our lives and in society that come from our starting place. As much as America is the land of opportunity, the land of milk and honey, I don't even like milk, and I rarely eat honey on anything. There are a lot of reasons why we find ourselves in the places that we're in. But also the beautiful thing is, especially with Google, there are so many different means of social elevation. And how you get to that point is different, but there is an ability to go from rags to riches. And no, it's not common because you have to be an uncommon person to be comfortable enough to be uncomfortable in these situations. And most people aren't. It's okay. I promise you, it is okay. But a lot of people want to blame the government and school system for their kids or their lack of success in life. And again, to a certain degree, that's valid, but that's not everything. And if you want to put the responsibility of your success or failure on an institution, that's a you problem, honestly. Like, you have to take some personal accountability to ensure that you put yourself in the best situation to be successful. Okay. So, and this stems from a conversation that I had when I was Facebook trolling last week. Was it Friday? Yeah, a week ago. Tomorrow. I was Facebook trolling because every now and then I want to Facebook troll and engage with people. And a lot of times I'm here to learn something because people have different points of views. And if you have a different point of view, I'm always willing to listen to your point of view, even if I adamantly disagree with it, because I want to learn. And not just learn like from your point of view, I want to just be exposed to different things that aren't in my wheelhouse, because we often find ourselves around like-minded people. So a lot of our thoughts and opinions are validated by those who are around us because, that's natural. So the conversation was just pretty much about how school, different things in the school system socially conditions kids for prison. And I just was like, fuck no, absolutely not. Some of these things that we may not like are here to maintain order, establish order and organization for students, because you have a lot of people, few instructors, and you don't want chaos, because if you have chaos, you don't have learning. So a lot of the problems that happen with schools, because I have a mother who works in the school system. I went to school with people, a lot of smart people who ain't doing shit. I always say, if you have the ability to like memorize songs, then you have the ability to make good grades because you have the skills, you just aren't applying them in the right place. And not saying that making good grades is everything, it's not, but understanding what good grades can get you is important. So it's working that system until you can get to where you want to do, so you can apply your skills to what you actually want to apply it to. So here's the thing. Schools do a lot of fucked up shit, all right? But your personal decisions lead to your consequences. Sad but true, most of the people I went to school with who were in trouble a lot, who were in ISS a lot, OSS a lot, you know, getting kicked out of class, getting kicked out of different schools, they found themselves going to jail and prison a lot. And some could say that the system put them here because of all of this stuff, or maybe their poor decision making as students reflected in their adult life, because motherfuckers can't follow rules. If you ain't gonna follow rules and care about consequences, you're probably not gonna follow laws and care about consequences. And I think a lot of that starts at home. It starts with the parent, because parents have to set a standard. And if parents aren't setting a standard, if you're allowing the school or the government to set the standard for your child, and then you're upset at your child for not being who you want them to be, that's a you problem. Because I remember, like, my mom gave no fucks about curves at all in classes at all. If I made this grade on the test, I'd be like, well, Mom, I had the second highest grade on the test. Yeah, but you still failed. I'm like, yeah, but so-and-so, she was like, so-and-so's not my child. They're not my responsibility. This is my standard. So I had a certain standard that I had to meet at home. And if I didn't meet that standard from home, then it didn't matter if I made a certain grade in school. I could have the best grade in the class, but if it didn't meet my mom's standard, it wasn't right. And the same thing with discipline. And you have to set the standard at home for your children so that they become the adults that you want them to be. Now, don't get me wrong. People are going to make their own decisions. You can raise a child perfectly, and then they still fuck it all up. That happens. But if you are a disciplined parent, then you are more than likely to have a disciplined child, especially if you're understanding your discipline. But I'm not going to hold the schools faultless at all, because I think there are a lot of things that schools should do better. Specifically, like with where you're at. So, especially in the public school system, so much of what goes on in the public school system is all about the area that you live in, the amount of money and resources that the taxpayers can pay to educate the kids. And for people who live in impoverished areas, rural areas where there's less money, they have less resources. They have less open-minded school boards. They have less progressive school boards. So the people who are making the decisions for them may not be the best informed people to make long-term decisions for the youth, because their purview is so much smaller than the world. They have a regional view or a state view or even a city-wide view, whereas they probably should have a world view, which would make things so much better for the students who attend these schools. But those things are out of our control. So again, it goes back home. Parents, make your child the student that you want them to be. Because if you don't do that, then I'm sorry, man. Like, the schools aren't going to do everything, especially if you're in an area where there's less resources. And in these areas with less resources, you typically have worse teachers because they get paid less. So you're not getting the best of the best. And when you're getting people who aren't getting paid to do this, getting paid well, You have more people who are just doing it because it's a job, not because it's something that they care about. They care about the students, which again reflects on the students. And a lot of times these people have less role models to look at around them that make them to strive to want to be more, because you typically want to be like the people that you see. And if all you're seeing is people who are mediocre or just average, normal, that's what you want to be, as opposed to seeing people who you know and can directly have a relationship with, striving for more. What else do I got here? The thing about, and then there's no consequence. I talk about parents enough, helicopter parents. Hold your kids accountable. If your kid is bad, your kid is bad. If your kid isn't smart, get them help. If your kid ain't listening, he ain't listening. Like all this shit. But parents, you have to hold your kids accountable, and always blaming stuff on the teachers, blaming stuff on the school is not holding your kid accountable. Overall, I think there's no guidance from guidance counselors. They have a lot of kids that they have to deal with. I get it. At the end of the day, your job is to provide guidance to these kids to help them become successful, because a lot of parents don't know. I was fortunate to have a parent who worked at a school for damn near 30 years now. Hold on. 25 years. So there was a lot of information that she had that a lot of parents don't have, that helped propel me to success as a student. So, sorry, I have to drink a little bit of water. Throat getting a little dry. So because of those opportunities, I feel like I had an advantage over a lot of people. But shout out to my mom, Sharon, I love you. She tries to pass on the information to as many students as possible, because she understands that guidance counselors aren't really guiding and parents don't necessarily know. But hey, parents, again, this is you. Do your homework, do your research, figure out what it takes to make your kids successful so that they can become successful. That's your job as a parent, to set your kid up for success. Teach them about stuff, but don't rely on other people to make your kids successful. Don't rely on the iPad to babysit them. Give them some interpersonal skills. Don't rely on the teachers to teach them everything. Yes, you can't teach them everything. But if the teacher ain't doing it right, and you know the teacher ain't doing it right, find a teacher who will, find a system that will, or when you get them home, supplement it. Shit, I used to have to read 10 books every summer. The summer's only 10 weeks. That's a book a week. From, I don't know, the time I could read until damn near I graduated. And I couldn't go to training camp for football if I didn't fucking read my books. Yeah, because my mama felt like what I was getting in school just wasn't enough. You need a little bit more. Oh God, I'm beating up parents and I ain't even got no kids. Maybe that's why I do that, because I don't understand. And honestly, schools, you don't have to push everybody to college. You should teach more life skills to kids. I mean, you could teach people how to change a tire, change oil. It wouldn't kill anybody for them to learn that, Maybe bring home economics back, because people need to know how to run a household. I think that's kind of important. More emphasis on arts, because there's nothing wrong with being artsy. And yeah, it doesn't always pay well, but shit, everybody ain't got to work a 9 to 5. And then, yeah, less emphasis on everybody. Oh, you need to go to college. Or maybe you should just develop a trade and get paid doing that. You can do that too. There are different ways to attain happiness in life and have the ability to pay your bills. So, I don't know. So Sharon, my mother, has this valuable quote. This valuable quote that she told me a long time ago. It's probably gonna be my next tattoo, because she told me I could not get her tattooed on my body, but she is like my biggest influence in life, my role model, my motherfucker. Yeah. But it's birds of a feather flock together. And I really think that is a true quote applicable to life, because I look around at people who I'm closest to, and we are generally alike. But you also have some birds who don't have the same feathers that want to flock just because they like the flock. Let me see. Let me try that again. You have some birds of a different feather who want to fly just because they like the flock, and it's like, hey, nah, baby, be who you are. You ain't got to flex with us. Mask on, nah, nigga, fuck it, take the mask off. It's okay. Take your mask off. Don't be who they want you to be. Be who you are. Like my dog Chew always says, quoting dog, keep it real no matter what keep it real with your dog no matter what. Dang, I'm stuttering. That's what happens when I get to read and stuff and talk at the same time. But keep it real with your dogs. Be you. You don't have to act like you're a different person. It is okay. No one's going to judge you for not being like them as long as you're being true to who you are. And if they judge you for it, fuck them. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. It's okay to be different. Hell, I like being different. I strive to be different. I don't be like the rest of y'all people. I almost called y'all the MF word. I'm trying to clean up my act. And I say that to kind of go into the whole Dwayne Wade piece, man. So now his second son, who now identifies as a woman or a girl and wants to be called Zaya, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I don't care. If that's who young Zaya is, then we as a society should embrace it and let the young king/queen cook. And I say king/queen because I don't know where he or she is in the identification stage. I get, identified as a woman. I just saw Zaire's post and he still said he in the post. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful or any of that stuff. I'm just we're gonna just say Zaya, okay? Why do we give a fuck? Not our child, not our house. You can agree or disagree. I don't care about that. But why do you give a fuck? Because I don't. I honestly don't care. But from that, I think there's an important conversation to have there. I think that, for one, gender identity and sexuality are separate. And I've seen people have these different conversations about it, and they try to bring in sexuality. Like, no. It's different. And I think that us having different views is okay. I don't think one group is right or wrong. And this isn't me being safe. This is me just saying, hey, we all have different views on certain things, and it's okay to have different views on things. Just make sure you're respectful in how you portray your view to other people. Because honestly, the whole trans thing, I don't understand it. I've read a lot about it, but I don't understand it. It doesn't, because I haven't lived it. It's not, there's no one in my life that I'm close to who's transitioning or has made a transition. So I don't understand those feelings because I don't have them. I'm not gonna sit here and say, no, you don't feel that way. You was born with a dick, you a man, you was born with a pussy, you a woman. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say I was born with a dick and I am a man because I am a man. I feel like a man. I act like a man. Talk like a duck, think like a duck, all that stuff. So yeah. But kudos to young Zaya for being comfortable enough, or Zaya, I hope it's Zaya, for being comfortable enough in his or her skin to be his or herself. And we grown ass people, we should be more like that and not really care what other people have to say. Like, at the end of the day, it's our lives. We have to look ourselves in the mirror. And maybe our parents agree with us, maybe they don't, maybe they're disappointed. But at the end of the day, the people who love you for who you are will always love you, even if you make lifestyle changes, especially when they're not disrespectful and they don't affect them. But another piece that I want to talk to on there is just, hey, look, I've seen different conversations about it. And what would you do if you had a kid? I don't know what the hell I would do if I had a child. I don't. I grew up traditional. So my belief is I want my child to be traditional. It's what I know. It's easy for me. I'm not afraid to say that. And if you want to tell me I'm wrong for feeling that way, that's fine. I can live with that. Because again, I am speaking to what's comfortable for me. But I can also say that with a child, I think the conversation becomes, again, this is my child in my house, is I hear you. I understand where you're coming from. Let's slow play it. And not slow play it because I agree or disagree with your choice, but because we want to make sure this isn't a phase. We want to make sure this isn't a phase and this is truly a lifestyle, because we go through different phases through our lives, and there's different reasons why we go through those phases. And if this is a phase, we don't want to make lifelong decisions based on a short-term feeling. Like, there are things that I wanted to do when I was 11 or 12 that I'm not interested in now. Hell, I had no interest in social studies, history, government, none of that stuff when I was 11 or 12. And now it's one of my passions. Back then I loved math. Today I fucking hate it. I barely dress myself. I didn't buy my clothes. So a lot of those things didn't matter. Like me picking out my clothes at 12, who cares? What are the implications of that? Nothing. But if I decided I wanted to change my gender at 12 and I got 19 and realized, no, I wanted to be what I originally was, can you go back? I mean, you're not even at the age of consent. Like, you're not legally old enough to have sex. And again, I'm not putting sex and gender identity in the same basket. I'm just saying, we're not saying that you are old enough to consent in sex, which could lead to a lifetime consequence. Having sex, you know, you can catch a disease, you can have a kid. We say you're not old enough until you're 16 to 18 in some states. So how can I be so sure? Again, this is my house. I'm not telling you how to run your house. That a child is old enough, is aware enough, is in the right place to make that decision. Because I was having a conversation with a friend who was telling me a story about, I think it was a doc that she watched, and a kid played with girl toys, thought he wanted to be a girl, but didn't really want to be a girl, just wanted more attention from his parents because his sister got more attention from his parents. So he did the stuff that his sister did, thinking that would get him attention. But come to find out, it wasn't that he wanted to be a girl, he just wanted attention, and his sister had Down syndrome, so she got more attention than he did, obviously. So crazy thing is, I'm watching the 100 plays of the decade, and somehow Kawhi's buzzer beater in Game 7 against the damn Sixers, or whatever game that was, is a bigger play than Kyrie's shot against the fucking Warriors. Bullshit. But yeah, just I think that we should be understanding of people's needs. We shouldn't be judgmental. We should hear them out. And even if we disagree, it's like, hey, play the long game, and let's hope, and let's not make a long-term decision based off of a short-term feeling. And that applies to any and everything. Like, even your use of social media, being impulsive, like, just make sure you think everything out before you actually take the action, because you never know what those long-term implications can be. Let's see. I think it's about time to like lighten the mood a little bit. No. So yeah, I'm doing my sports segment a little bit earlier today. You talk about athletes versus the media. I think that's an interesting conversation because the athletes are becoming part of the media, and they have their thoughts, and I have my thoughts. But I think it's funny when we talk about these different things, and this stems from Katie on All the Smoke podcast talking about how he just doesn't mess with the media. And I understand why he doesn't mess with the media, because KD's a different guy. KD appears, from what I've taken in from pretty much every interview that I've listened to, all of his long form shit, he don't want to be a celebrity. He wants to live like a normal guy, which is why I think he does the burner accounts, because he wants to engage with people like we engage with one another, but he understands he's KD, and he doesn't want the media story. Oh, KD is talking to this person, KD's talking to that person, or even messing up his bag and fucking up his endorsements. Those are two different conversations. But I guess where I have an issue with the athletes versus the media thing is that athletes act like they want the media to coddle them. And it's the media's job to have an opinion on the athlete based on facts. Well, I don't even say an opinion. It's spit it out, son. Pause. To provide analysis on the sports and athletes. And I think with analysis comes criticism, but with that analysis and criticism, it's not always personal. And I think athletes need to understand, like, hey, it's not personal. I'm talking about what you did. I'm not talking about you as a person. And when media members become critical of a person's character, I have issues with that, because unless you're speaking to things that you know directly or you have directly sourced, I have an issue with it. Even if you do know those things, I don't like it. Talk about what they do. Don't talk about the person, because you don't know the person. And Nick Wright and Matt Barnes had a little back and forth over the weekend, because Nick Wright was he was giving his thoughts on the trade of Andrew Wiggins to the Warriors for D'Angelo Russell and the draft pick. Not a sports podcast. I'm not breaking down trades. But I found it interesting that Matt Barnes, well, hold on. Nick was pretty much saying that Andrew Wiggins is a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player. I think that he had a lot of the expectations tied to him. He didn't meet the expectations, but at the end of the day, he scores 20 points a game in the NBA. He's good at basketball. And he doesn't equate to winning, though, and that matters. He's a good stats bad team guy. He's like Devin Booker like. So Matt Barnes was pretty much saying, like, hey, dog, you wasn't good at basketball. How dare you call this man bad? For one, he's not calling him bad at basketball, like, in comparison to the whole world. We all know that he's good at basketball in comparison to everybody else. But the conversation was about him as an NBA player in comparison to his peers. And I think that's a valid analysis. I wouldn't say he's bad. I would just say he's just not as good as he was supposed to be. There's a difference there. But athletes think, and it's not just athletes, but I'm using athletes because it's the example, think that the media attacks them personally. It's not personal. It is the media giving an account of what you do for the common man. And there are different athletes who believe that, oh, well, if you didn't play the game, you shouldn't coach, you shouldn't talk about it. No. There's a yin and a yang. You need both. I think that it is important to have analysts who play the game. I also think it's important to have analysts who didn't play the game, because oftentimes you see different biases come from analysts who played the game. They compare themselves to the people that are playing, and they try to hold them to their standard. And that's not always fair, because they may be better, they may be worse. Look at Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce played the game. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, a Finals MVP, a champion, a beloved Celtic, one of the greatest Celtics ever. His analysis is fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, but he's a player, so we got to respect what Paul says. No, he don't. He can be wrong. You have Charles Barkley. I love Chuck. Chuck is the most entertaining sports personality on TV. Chuck is actually funny. He's not just TV funny, he's funny. But oftentimes his analysis is terrible. He speaks from a person who played in the 80s and the 90s. And it's okay. It's okay for him to speak from the way he played, but the game has changed. The game is revolutionized. Analytics do matter. Excuse me, especially in the regular season. That stuff does matter. And it's okay. Then you look at people like, hell, Bill Simmons wrote the book of basketball. He didn't play a lick of professional basketball, but he knows the game. He speaks intelligently about the game. Players respect what he has to say about the game. Why? Because they come on this podcast and they talk basketball with him. They read his pieces. Like you can, if you go to this book of basketball podcast, why am I plugging somebody who has way more viewers than me? But Kobe called him about some stuff that he said about him. They talked basketball. They talked hoops. He's had KD on his podcast. He's had Jimmy Butler on his podcast. He's had Steve Nash, Steve Kerr. You name it. He's talked to him. So you can't tell me this person doesn't know the game. But again, when it's personal, that's where my issues come in. And again, I understand why basketball players or athletes in general can be mad at the media, because sometimes they come, like, especially in debate show culture, because a lot of these shows and these headlines are terrible. Like, these shows are trying to get viewers, so they come up with bullshit headlines, like some headlines I've seen this week. Are the Rockets becoming Westbrook's team? No, they're not. They just changed the way they play. There's more space on the floor so he can get busy more so than he once did when they had two non-shooters on the floor to include him and Clint Capella. We'll know that. Does Kawhi have a better championship shot? Did Kawhi have a better championship shot this year with Toronto? Maybe, but he already won one there and he didn't want to play there. Like, why are you trying to build this narrative that maybe he should have stayed? I understand that. I understand when the media builds narratives that aren't true, they report things that aren't true, that aren't sourced, that could turn players against them. But understand that in anything that we do, we need people who aren't directly involved in that to provide analysis of it, because they don't have the personal relationships, they don't have the personal biases to their that impact their analysis. You want people who you want people to have fair analysis. That's about it. And also, hey, people gotta understand, hey, sports is a TV show. As much as it's competition for the people doing it, it's a TV show. And networks want to sell their TV show. They're going to generate stories. They're going to have people talk about it. Why? Because it makes their TV show a better watch, and that matters. I saw something this week about the NCAA wants rails on how much players can make. Man, NCAA, get the fuck out of here. If a player's likeness can get them 1.5, 2 million a year, they should be able to make it. If it gets them 500,000 a year, they should be able to make it. If it only gets them 5,000 a year, they should make it. If it gets them 500, they should get it. And the argument is that schools with the bigger brands would use they'll have an unfair advantage because their boosters will do this, that, and the third. Look, they're already doing it. The big brands are winning. The big brands are getting the best players. The big brands will always get the best players. And the crazy thing about it is, with college, it doesn't matter about the city. It doesn't. Who the fuck wants to go to Tuscaloosa? I don't. Never been. Probably will never go unless I'm going to a Bama, Georgia game in Tuscaloosa. But it just shows you how dirty the NCAA is and how they don't want these young people getting money. It's not your money. The schools ain't paying them. It's outside stuff. It's not going to affect the fairness of the game. Because the biggest programs are spending the money to get the biggest players. It's happening. You know it's happening, so you might as well legalize it and let them do it. Because if you look at NCAA basketball right now, you got 3 of the top, 8 players in this class not playing. RJ Hampton went to Australia. Melo Ball went to Australia. buddy who went to Memphis, can't think of his name off hand, not gonna look it up. He's ineligible because he received money from Penny before Penny was Memphis's coach and all this other stuff. Like, you're running off your top talent. Your TV product is not as good as it once was, and that's fine if you don't want that. But trying to deter these young people from getting money because you want to keep the game clean, that's the same people who's like, we should legalize gambling. Why not? The game is going to be fine. People are going to gamble. College kids are going to continue to get paid to play the game. So you might as well just let it happen. What else to say? Let it go. Well, that sounded terrible. Let it go. That's about all I got out of sports. The cap on this app, I really want to go in on the cap on IG, but I haven't worked it well enough yet. That's going to be a next week topic. Oh, yeah, and Colin Kaepernick does not want to play football anymore. That's all I got for him. Yo, that stripper fell off the pole from like 15 feet. And she kept twerking. Shout out to her. You are a trooper. You are a winner. Like, I loved it. Absolutely loved your commitment to excellence as a young stripper. And then she even kept her hustle going by starting to go fund me for her injuries. Broke ribs, broke jaw and shit. And she done got all these followers on IG. I'm one of them. Good for her. But bad on the strip club institution for not insuring this young lady. Instead of treating her like an independent contractor, because that's how strippers are. Like, you pay your rent to go strip. And then you give the club a portion of what you make. It's robbery. It is robbery, but still, which is why strippers prefer lap dances, because there's a control on how much money is spent, and they can't always tell how much money, so they can keep some of their money. Don't ask me how I know this stuff. But the least these clubs could do is have some type of liability and offer insurance, because they're making a lot of money off of these people. Because you think about the strip club, right? It has all the elements of a regular club, even more, because some strip clubs serve food. You go in there, you can eat, drink, and then you're also throwing money at the women. And the club is taking in some of all of that money. It's not like the money you throw at the women goes directly to the women. No. The club gets some of that money. So when we see this dynamic here, right? You can give them some insurance. You know, a little health benefits, you know, a little basic package, a little dental. I mean, they're making you money. Your club ain't making no money without no dance. She's a strip club dancer. So I just think the strip club should help these women out. But she made like 30 racks. Like, she might want to become a GoFundMe fundraiser more than a stripper, because I know she ain't making 30 racks a night at the strip club. Yeah, but I'm sorry, stripper girl. I'm not donating to your GoFundMe unless you gonna grind on me. Yeah, sorry, ain't happening. Oh, the Democrat Party sucks. As a Democrat, Iowa, a fucking shit show. How the fuck do you do that dumb shit? Looks like Bernie's on top right now. Joe Biden's really fucking it up. Not a political podcast, but I'll just say this about the Democratic Party. You can't always listen to the people who like you when you're trying to do stuff, because they're gonna just tell you what you want to hear, and not because they're yes men or yes women. They're gonna tell you what you want to hear because they typically agree with you. But when you're trying to win over people who have a different thought process, or they're somewhere in the middle of where you're at, you should probably listen to the people who are more like that, because what they have to offer is a little bit more closer to what you what you need. Let's get to this. Oh yeah, let me get to some weird bar shit that happened this week. I got some rules about don't twerk in front of look woman, don't twerk in front of me if you ain't interested. And I understand we're all entitled to our space in the club and the bar and all of that stuff. But don't be 6 inches from my dick with your ass and start dancing rhythmically. And then look at me crazy if I, grab your arm or look at you and say, hey, you're trying to dance and shit. What move? I was here first. Go dance somewhere else in front of a man who you're interested in. Because I'm standing here because I'm in here shooting. Shoot, let me get him. Shoot, you know what I mean? Soldier boy, shoot, nigga, shoot out, goddamn. Every time I go to the bar, shoot out. Steph Curry type shit. 3-point shootout, baby. Getting them shots. Mama mentality in the gym. Working on my craft, trying to be the best shooter I can be. Get the hell out of my face. Go on somewhere. Go twerking on the dance floor. I don't even be on the dance floor. I be like by the bar. Broke up with my girl last night, so I went to the club. Whatever. I'm by the bar chilling. You don't come over here without an ass shake. Unless you try to shake your ass on me. Because I don't really want to twerk. Getting old. Ain't what it used to be. You ain't going somewhere sending me mixed signals. My signal is straight. No chaser. I want you. And also some other weird shit. I was in the bathroom the other day. And I'm just leaving the urinal, turning around. Motherfucker, he walking through damn near dick in hand. Hey, I don't care how bad you got to piss. You wait till you get to that urinal before you start unzipping and pulling shit out. You get them between them 2 little walls and all that. Because look, ain't nobody trying to see your man parts. At least I ain't. Talk that shit. So you goddamn time for you to actually piss, hell. Let it go. I got some questions for y'all, man. Why Amber Rose got her kids tatted on her forehead? Don't she know she looks stupid? I mean, I know BBS and shit, but does she know how stupid she look? Well, I get you love your kids. You got your kids tatted on your forehead. Like, do I have to wear stupid pins on my head? No, bitch, it's tatted. Stupid ass. BBS. Speaking of head tats, why Chris Brown got a pair of J's tatted on the side of his face? Why Game got a Kobe tat on his face? I don't even know why I asked. You know why Game, he gonna name drop and Cloud Chaser LA and all of that shit, man. Fuck Game. Why does Hollywood think we care about their politics? Damn it, at the Oscars. They did all that political talking that I didn't listen to because I didn't watch it. But, bro, we don't care. Why do y'all even watch the Oscars? You've seen the movies already. Can they make Parasite in English so I can watch it? I ain't trying to read for 2 hours. Not in no movie theater. Last time I did that was The Passion of the Christ. And that was for my religion, so that's different. Who won the Iowa caucus? I still don't know. Why do the Democrats suck so much? When all niggas said they used to be on drugs, what drugs were they on? Were they just smoking weed? Because I feel like that ain't drug addiction. And when you at church, man, why do preachers be praying like back to back? Like, why do they preach to close out the sermon, then or pray to close out the sermon, and then when they get done praying, they want to pray again? Or like, when they introducing the preacher, they do a prayer before he come out there. They pray over him, and then before he start preaching, he pray again. And I know God listens to prayer and all of that, but I think he be getting the message when you done prayed 5 times in 20 minutes. I just don't get it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just asking a question. And that leads me into this news segment. I got to find a name for it, but Young Nigga Church. So this is my second week going to Bible study. And it's more like it's really like a church service, midweek church service. But it's centered around young people. And it's different. Because I told y'all last week, I'm traditional. old deacons and suits and not skinny jeans and t-shirt preachers. It's fine though. It doesn't take away from the message. Young nigga devotion, nah, can't do it. I even forgot what happened. I should have made more detailed notes. And it's contemporary. So they're doing that soft rock music, and I'm sitting down, my legs crossed. I can't stand up and do all that. And then at one point in service this week, the preacher had somebody come on stage with him and beatbox while he read a psalm, and I was like, I mean, I guess he's trying to relate to the young people, but I don't remember when niggas was beatboxing because this ain't my generation. I know Will Smith could beatbox. You know, I mean, but yeah, we don't beatbox. That's some 90s shit. It's 2020. You're almost 30 years behind time, so you trying to relate to the wrong youths, old man. And then, man, I could have sworn my demeanor was one typically of, hey, don't talk to me. Do not come up and talk to me. So before, we got there a little bit early, right? So before service starts, we standing around talking. And this dude on the welcome committee comes up to me. Hey, man, how you doing? My name is so-and-so. I'm like, fuck out of my face. I don't want to talk to nobody right now. I'm like, hey, how you doing? My name is Adam. And we keep talking. And he asked me all these questions. I'm like, yeah, you know, blah, 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 bloop, bloop. Yeah, it's not my first time. It's my second time. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's nice. It's fun. Cool. Yeah. Try to keep it short. Nah. Well, how'd you find out about it? I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, some of my friends, they go here. So I decide if I can go to the bar with them, I can go to church with them. Usually that turns off churchy people when you start talking about the bar. Oh, not the bar. Oh, man. He want to keep talking. He smiled. He just look happy. I'm just like, man, you not reading my body language right now? Do I not look like I want to be bothered by you, grown man? And I understand that we go to church for God. Absolutely go to church for God. But there's rarely a time where I want to talk to a grown-ass man that I don't know. But I played nice. I was social because that's the right thing to do. Of all places where I'll be social with a person that I don't want to talk to, it'll be in the house of God because, like, Jesus Christ, I can't come here and act right. Ain't no hope. None at all. But I appreciated the hospitality and all that stuff. I just hopefully next week he don't expect me to remember his name because he's a grown-ass man. And it was weird because he brought his African friend with him. This white guy brought his African friend. I don't know if he thought we were going to relate because, you know, black. I ain't no African, though. But most importantly, I'm going to get to some of the takeaways that I got from church because I think that with all the ignorance I bring to this podcast, I can definitely bring some of God's word here as well. And a funny quote I take away from Kirk Callahan. Shout out to Callie. He told us, I was in high school one day. He was like, I can raise hell all week, but the least I can do is wake up and go to church on Sunday. And I look at it, that quote is like, you know what? I can raise hell on this podcast all I want to. The least I can do is try to bring somebody closer to God. And if I can't do that, at least I can try to make you a better person using God's word, okay? So what was he talking about? Oh, with that music, I had a good joke, but I fucked it up. Don't tell the stories of your parents. Create your own. Understand history, but recreate it better. Look, man, we can't get caught up on everything that our parents did and keep telling those same old stories. We have to make our own history. We have to use history. Like, we have to use the mistakes that our parents made, that our grandparents made, right? Even mistakes that we've made, our friends made, and apply that to our life, right? But where he was using, like, church and faith, we can't tell the church stories of our parents. We have to make our own church stories, right? So we have to build our own relationship, build our own walk so that we can always look back to us, right? And not always have to look back to them. Look back to our experiences, not their experiences. And in life, you got to build your own experiences because you want to update history as recently as possible. You don't want to have gaps in your history. What else we got here? You can't have what you don't look for. You can ask, but you have to work to get what you want. If you don't show that you want it, do you really want it? Trust the process, right? So sometimes stuff happens to us in life and we pray about it 1 or 2 times and we don't get it. Man, look, sometimes you gotta show God you committed to what you want. You gotta let him know, hey, no, God, I want this for real. I ain't just pray about it just to pray about it. I want this. I'm gonna keep talking to you about it. But I also gotta show you my actions that I want what I'm praying for, because oftentimes you pray for something or you ask somebody for something like, oh yeah, I want this, I want to do that. But then when it's time to put in the work, you ain't ready to put in that work. You just want the results of it. You want the results, but you don't want to take part in the process. Oh, I want to be rich. No, you don't. Are you saving your money? Are you investing your money? Are you making smart financial decisions? Are you reading about money? Are you learning about money? Because if you ain't trying to get rich. Oh, I want to be fit. Are you working out? Are you eating right? No, you don't want to be fit. You don't want to be fit. You don't want to be fit. I want to be happy. Do you really want to be happy? Are you making decisions that make you happy? Or do you know what makes you happy? For one, have you found happy? Are you working towards that? Are you removing yourself from toxic shit that's hurtful? It's gonna hurt you a little bit now, but it's gonna lead you to where you actually want to go in the long run. Are you doing that? Because if you're not, you don't really want what you're asking for, what you say you want. So prayer is important, because prayer will fix it every time. Prayer will fix it every time. Make your petition. Don't get me to act like I'm a gospel singer. But prayer without actions is nothing. Nothing. You got to put the actions behind your words, man. Anything else I got? And when you find your focus, things become so clear. When you know what you're aiming for, when you know what you're trying to get, the distractions are less distracting. You're putting your energy where it needs to go instead of in here, there, and everywhere. No. You are doing what you need to do to achieve the success that you want. And lastly, don't let the cloud chasers fool y'all, man. You have your focus, they have theirs. Their life isn't your life. So when you see people out here living a life that you don't agree with, you're like, man, I put in this much work. I work hard for what I get, and I still don't have the opportunities that they have. It's okay. What God has for you, it is for you. So don't get caught up on what he has for other people. And you can apply this everywhere. When you see somebody winning, or quote unquote winning, dang, they travel all the time, they do this, do that. How come I can't do that? Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you're not putting in the effort to get you there, right? Or maybe you don't know what they're going through to get there. Maybe they're not happy. Maybe they're doing this to shield the pain that they have in life, but you're actually a pretty happy person. You have a good core of people around you. Your relationships are good. Your money is good enough. Your work is good enough. Like, think about that. Okay? So don't let the outside stuff fool you, like people in relationships. Well, how come so-and-so do this for their significant other? Look, that's not for me to know. I'm not in their relationship. I don't know why they do that this way. This is how I like to do things. Does this work for you? Are you happy with me? Because if you're not happy with me, then you should move on. But if you're happy with me, don't worry about what the fuck they doing over there, because they ain't got nothing to do with us. We don't live in their house. We here. So it's about keeping that one-track focus. Being focused on what's important to you and what's important to the people around you, and finding your happiness. But don't let the cloud chasers fool you. They ain't always happy. And some of them pictures they posted, they took 3 months ago, and they just sat on them. They want you to think they're traveling all the time. Niggas at home. All right, last segment of the day is we're gonna get to the Black History piece. Wrap shit up. So I got 2 pieces today. Being Black is such a huge flex. Black people are creators and trendsetters. I love how we don't have to steal culture because we are the culture. Sorry to bust your bubble during Black History Month, but Black people, we are a culture. And a lot of what we do does set the trends for pop culture in America. But I say all the time, everybody want to be black until they call a nigga. So yes, we do dope stuff in the culture. We set trends, but we don't set all of the trends. There are a lot of bad trends in Black culture that I'm not comfortable with saying, hey, we set that trend. I mean, but we did. Something we can work through, work past. And more importantly, this speaks to us being a superior people. And as great as we are, as much as I love being Black, I'm not here to promote superiority. I'm here to support equality, togetherness. You know, be proud of who you are, be proud of your people, be proud of what you stand for. But hey, look, man, the superiority piece isn't what we need, because if you're trying to put people down to pick yourself up, it's not going to last in the long run. It's not. So, yes, be proud of the trends that we set. Yes, be proud of the things that we do. But understand there are things that other people do better than us. There are things in our culture that we take from other people. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And there's nothing wrong with borrowing things from other cultures. I said that multiple times on this podcast. Like, look, America is a melting pot of different cultures. And the beautiful thing about American culture, despite how fucked up it is there's just so much that goes into what being an American is. And an American in California versus American in New York versus American in Georgia versus America in Michigan, we're all different people, but yet we're Americans. And Black people the same way. One of my best friends, Eric, shout out to Schmerrick, he's from LA. We are so different on so many different things. We're still Black. We still love each other. It's all good. So embrace your Blackness, be proud of it. But don't think that being Black makes you better than anybody else, or being white makes you better than anybody else, or being Mexican makes you better than anybody else, or being African makes you better than anybody else, or being European, whatever the fuck it is. No one's better than anybody. We're all human beings. Like, adopt what KD says. Yo, I'm just good at basketball, but that doesn't make me a better person than anybody else. And the last thing I want to talk about with the Black history thing is, hey, man, Black people, we got to work together. You know, it's funny how if you watch like 90 to 2000 sitcoms, you watch 90 to 2000 music videos, you just see like hella people together, right? Like, what is it? Is it Rubber Band Man? Video where you got Mike Vick in the video with T.I. I mean, you look at the different sitcoms, like you look at Martin. Look who was on Martin, man. You had Tommy Hitman Hearns come on. You had Biggie come on. You know what I mean? Jamie Foxx, you had KG come on. In the House, you had D Fish come on. Hell, even Mark Curry came on the Jamie Foxx show. Fresh Prince had cameos from some of everybody. And Black people, let's work together. Let's do cameos for everybody. Hey, if you rap and give somebody a feature. If you record, shoot somebody a video. If you pod, interview your mans. If you got two people pod, do a joint pod together. Drop a song together. Oh, you got merch? Go buy the merch. Shout out to the merch. Broke Off Apparel. Shout out to my man Tony Basso. His birthday is the 15th. Y'all wish my man Tony Basso a happy birthday. Support Black business. Support Black entrepreneurs. Support Black creators. We all got to work together. Just because somebody got a podcast don't mean you should be like, man, fuck them niggas. They got a podcast, bro. I don't get no listeners. I won't be on it. No. Work together. Man, fuck that. He get his merch line doing way better numbers than me. Everybody wearing his shit. Nobody. Who cares? Support them. Work with them. Pick him up. Pick her up. We got to unite. We got to stop this crabs in the barrel mentality, because that's why we find ourselves where we've always been. You listen to a Malcolm speech, listen to a Martin speech, you read some W.E. Du Bois, you read some Booker T. Washington, right? Then you fast forward to today, you watch a different world. You watch our TV shows now, you look at Black Lives Matter. We are dealing with the same problems we've always been dealing with. Not much has changed, but we still keep fighting this fight because we're stubborn. We don't want to work together. And there are many reasons why. I'm not gonna lie to you. The way we were brought here, the way we were treated, we were put in positions to fight so that we could not overcome. But history has shown that we can unite under a common goal and achieve greatness. And when we drop our pride and come together, we are strong people. And we got to do that. Big baby,